collections versus nodes. Which one's been holding its value the best? Where might you be investing to see your UPX net worth grow in Upland? And where do I think they're going to be going in the future? How's it going, everybody? This is Radishhead and welcome back to another episode of Upland Analysis. As always, I want to quickly thank my executive level channel members, Bad Frog, Monopoly Mike and Matsuda R. Thank you very much for your ongoing support of the channel. So it's no secret that it's a bit of a tough time around the Upland metaverse right now. And that's the case across crypto, across stocks, across everything. It's all going down, and that can be a bit disheartening. But there is one glimmer of hope that a lot of people have been latching onto. And no, that's not cars, although yes, it appears that the resale market on cars is very strong at the moment in Upland. But aside from that, people are talking a lot about nodes. If you don't know what a node is, the definition seems to change depending on who you ask, but as a node manager myself, I like to keep it nice and broad. I don't like to gatekeep the definition of a node. Quite frankly, as far as I'm concerned, if a group of players come together with the intention of adding value to a neighborhood or a street, that's a node. There's only a limited amount of UPX to go round, so are we really seeing a shift away from collections and towards nodes? Are nodes the new collections? Well, I've pulled up some data and I'm hoping we're going to find out today. Speaking of nodes, you may recognize this one that I've got on the screen right now, and if you don't, you may be wondering, Radish, this place looks incredible. How do I get in on this? It is the sponsor of today's video, which is Quailwood Residences. This is the neighborhood of Quailwood in Bakersfield, and they have been quietly and busily working away to turn this neighborhood into one of the most exclusive, valuable neighborhoods in the Upland metaverse, and this is how you can get involved in this neighborhood. If you take a look at the data that I'm showing up on screen right now, you can see that more than half of Quailwood is already built with structures, and over 55% of those structures are luxury mansions. And they're all in different colours, it's all so well coordinated. This truly is a hidden gem hidden within Bakersfield. The amount of spark that's been poured in here to create what really feels like a cozy yet exclusive neighborhood. Quailwood is by invitation only. Now in the description I've got a link to the application form. They're taking applications now, but they're not actually planning on adding any new members until they hit collection status, which will hopefully be sometime soon. So if you think you have what it takes to make the cut, the application link is in the description below. Good luck if you choose to participate in that, and thank you very much Quailwood in Bakersfield for sponsoring this video. Now I'm going to be showing you some data from the very useful website called upxland.me. If you go on there and go on properties statistics, you will receive so much useful information about individual neighborhoods, streets, collections. You can see how the floor prices have changed over time, and we're going to try and track the floor price of a bunch of collections across a whole number of different cities, rarities, all of that good stuff. And then we're going to look at some prominent nodes. We're going to see what we learn and make some conclusions from that as to where maybe we should be investing our UPX if we want to make the best returns. Let's take a look at a few of these. So in Queens, we've got Kew Gardens. I bought a lot of properties there, and it's quite small for a limited collection. It looks like the price has been fluctuating there quite a lot. But it did dip to around 27.5k and then it bumped up to 26k. So maybe that was one property at the bottom, kind of keeping the floor down. But it's worth noting that the USD floor has dropped from about 25, 27, all the way down to about $8. So in terms of the US value and that collection neighborhood, that's a little bit of a struggle. Let's see if it's limited to just Queens or New York. This is one of the most established collections in the game. Russian Hill in San Francisco is another limited collection, and we're seeing that, yes, even though it's an old city, it's years old, this collection, it's still dropping. We're going from 180k to 100k. Now it's at 80k. So we did have a little bit of a bump up recently. It went as low as 60. We're now at 80. but we're at an all-time low for the USD floor as well at just 40 USD. So this could be a fantastic opportunity to get in. Don't forget, there was a time where you couldn't get anything in here for less than $100. So if you're feeling confident about the recovery play, that absolutely could be something you're going to do. But is it just about limited collections? How are we looking in exclusive orange collections? This is Chinatown in Chicago. I can tell you that all of the orange collections in Chicago, you weren't able to get anything there for less than 100,000 easily. I remember some of those going up for like 200,000 UPIX each. They were very, very expensive. That was like way back before Cleveland came out. The price hasn't done quite as bad here, I think, as far as a percentage, but we're still down about 30%, hovering around 75,000 UPIX now. And oh man, the USD floor, can you imagine? We were looking at about $100 and it just dropped pretty quickly. That was pretty unfortunate. I think somebody might have been trying to dump a whole bunch of properties on the market at once for that to happen. And it actually went as low as 30. It's recovered back up to 40, so it seems to have found a little bit of a long-term floor. But that long-term floor is obviously a ways away from where it was back in the day, which of course is a shame. Thinking about Chicago still, this is Wicker Park, a limited collection. This is actually looking fairly stable. Looks, it was about 30k going into the period. It was bumping around about 40k, and we're back around 30k again. So not a disaster story. It's, you know, $17, which isn't fantastic for a limited collection, but I think it's fair to say that so far the overall trend has absolutely just been down. What about the rare collections? What about Riverdale in Bronx? Well, we don't need to analyze it too much. I think the rare collections across the game might have seen the biggest negative impact, and a big part of that will be due to the collection swapping nerf, which made it pretty unviable to swap these rare collections. That's just way too much risk, so you're seeing quite a big decrease in the value of those rare ones especially. But yeah, used to not be able to get any of this stuff for less than 200k. Now it's under 100k, which honestly, that's I do wonder if we're approaching a bottom here, because eventually it does reach a point where you're thinking, yeah, okay, I can't swap the collection anymore, but it's still a rare collection in New York. You know, how far could it possibly drop? You know, if it was like 30k, let's be outrageous, I'd be buying them all up immediately. So let's sort of work up from there. What about 40k? Yeah, I'd probably buy them. 50k, maybe. And, you know, there's always somebody at every price point who's, you know, saying, okay, it's gone far enough. Are we reaching that point with places like Riverdale in Bronx? We can only wait and see. And Concourse in Bronx, here's another one. This is a rare as well. I'm trying to stick to neighborhoods because it makes the easiest comparison for nodes later on. But you can see that it was kind of fluctuating between about 180 and 200k. And then boom, 165, boom, 149, 130, 125. 125k for a rare in Bronx. Ouch. And $70. So again, you know, not super cheap to buy one of these things in dollars, but it's definitely a considerable drop from where we were looking before. Now, it's worth mentioning that prices have gone down across the board in Upland. You know, generally since the LA release, that was kind of the peak in terms of consumer interest and pricing, but it doesn't have to be this way. We don't have to wait out the bear market, because of course there is another option, and that is the nodes, because people have been committing their spark to these neighborhoods. They're getting the communities excited about what is to come. There's only a certain amount of UPIX in the game, and when Upland is throwing out sales for new cities or block explorers or FIFA legits or cars, whatever it is, when it comes to buying properties, people aren't necessarily looking for what they used to, which was a nice exclusive or rare collection out in a well-established city. people, they're not thrilled about that anymore. They don't want to sit around collecting their yields. They're looking to sell those properties and get in on the ground floor of some of these nodes. Look at my own node, Holliswood. Back in April, we were looking at about 35,000. Then I think I announced that we were going to do something with this neighborhood, and it jumped up pretty quickly to about 65k. And it's been fairly steady since then, but it's been steady and increasing rather than steady and decreasing. So we're currently at a nice stable floor of about 86k. I've got no doubt that as I and others continue to invest our spark in that neighborhood, the prices are going to continue to rise. I think there's a lot of room still for the prices to go up here. If the prices drop too low, I like to grab some of this stuff myself because I really do believe in the future of Holliswood. It's where I've got my personal residence and a lot of other people do as well. Let's have a look at some other nodes because, you know, I'm obviously biased. Let's take a look at another excellent Queens node, Neponsit. Owned by fellow content creator Mark Ferguson's Real Estate Experience. And again, look, it was sitting around 14k. Then he announced he was doing something with it. It rocketed to about 36, 37k, and it's been stable and increasing, right? So it went up to about 50k, dropped to about 45k, but it certainly hasn't crashed, and the overall view is, you know, still going up. And actually the floor price in USD is maintained even steadier than mine. So that's 35 USD floor. Very impressive for Neponsit. Bayswater, let's stick with Queens. This one, you can see where they were accumulating properties, you know, about the 10, 12k range. Then the word got out that they were doing something over there, and then it rocketed 20k, 30k. It looks like it's finding a little bit of a stable spot there, but that's still a very reasonable floor price, you know, for a growing node. So if you're looking for something at a reasonable price point, about 26k for Bayswater in Queens could be a good opportunity there. It's not all about Queens though in the node world. What about Sherwood Forest in Detroit? Again, you've got a little bit of an accumulation period here in the 40k range, and then it rockets up to 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. The work they're doing there in Sherwood Forest is worthy of recognition, so well done to John Henry for achieving that. I mean, speaking of really impressive, imagine if you bought into Century City at 100k. I remember when it was 200k, that was before the collection reveals came out. And when the collections were revealed and Century City was not a collection, the prices crashed to about 100k. And, you know, us in the know, we thought, hey, we believe in what we're trying to achieve here. Let's buy up some more Century City properties and just make this one of the greatest neighborhoods in Upland. And they've absolutely achieved in doing that. They completely locked up the number of available properties and then just started building them. So they locked it up. The price went up to about 250k, and then that's just busy work after that, just trying to get this you know, all built up. And now I think people are starting to notice, hey, wait a minute, I really want to be involved in this. This could be a really fantastic neighborhood to be involved in. So 320k, 370k, 390k. Is it going to continue going up? You know, there's only so much UPX in the world. I'm not selling mine. That's all I'm saying. And I wanted to do a quick case study because there's some neighborhoods that are also collections. So they're collection neighborhoods, but they're also nodes. I wanted to see how they were doing. So we've got Hollywood in Los Angeles. This is a limited collection, but it's also kind of being treated as a node. It's certainly getting a lot of spark invested in it, but this one is following more of the collection pattern than the node pattern. Does that mean that Hollywood could be a little bit undervalued? It might be. Honestly, the amount of spark that I'm seeing going to Hollywood every day, it's already got a really good build completion. I think it just takes somebody who owns a decent amount of properties there to create a sort of more of a centralized system up there. I think that could do a lot of good for Hollywood. A similar story with the French Quarter in New Orleans. This one had a lot of hype. This is only a limited collection, New Orleans. And yeah, the prices were in excess of 100k for a long time. But again, I don't think anyone has sort of stepped up to the plate to run this centrally. It was really looking like it could be a successful node, but it's sort of dropped off and it's looking more like a standard collection at this point. Now this is still more valuable than any other limited collection in New Orleans, but it's definitely not following that stable or trending up pattern we're seeing in the other nodes. And finally, there was a lot of hype around City Island in Bronx. This is another collection neighborhood that was looking to be some sort of node. I definitely built a house here. And it was, you know, staying okay. It's about 100k or 90k, but it's just been steadily trending down since then. So I think this says a lot, not just about collections, but about running nodes in general. You've got to keep the momentum, because I think, you know, the prices, they're always being pulled down by gravity. The gravity is being caused by other places that people want to spend their UPX. They don't want to have their UPX sitting around in a neighborhood that's not doing anything exciting. Try to keep the momentum going and try to have a face for your nodes that people can kind of turn to and ask questions. Have a Discord server, all of that good stuff. You may need to invest some of your own UPX to try and kickstart your nodes. That's what I did in Holliswood, and I'm going to be doing more initiatives like that in Holliswood in the future. So those are just some things that I've kind of learned along the way. And I guess if you're sort of buying into a node, sort of keep an ear out for that kind of thing. So is there still a lot of buzz around the node? You know, is the Discord active? Are people talking about it? You don't necessarily need people talking about it all the time, because you can have an accumulation period where you sort of buy up all of the you know, various properties on the cheap and then start building them up. Like certainly Quail Woods that I talked about at the start of the video, they absolutely did that. But I think overall, when you compare the charts from the collections to those of the nodes, certainly if I was recommending an approach for somebody, you know, coming into Upland, I would say that the nodes in general, they do seem to be the new collections. Is that a trend that's going to last? I'm not 100% sure, but I personally believe that as Upland adds more features that involve a community element, people are going to try and flock to the neighborhoods that seem to have the best community atmosphere. So historically, nodes have been the strongest. I believe going forwards that nodes are only going to increase their gaps over collections. We'll see if that comes true in the future. The key factors for increasing the value of a node are repeated sustained community participation, some kind of central authority that people can recognize as the leader of the node. And I'm not saying that being a collection necessarily hurts a node, but from the examples that I showed, it definitely seems harder to kind of accumulate a strong foundation of users in a node if it's a collection, because the collections are more likely to have people kind of flipping, whereas if it's not a collection neighborhood, anyone who's buying in there has to at least be a little bit invested in the idea of what the node is all about, in my opinion. So I hope you found that useful. Of course, want to shout out my executive and director level channel members: Matsuda R, Monopoly Mike, Bad Frog, HH Toyboy, Rasmus Bro, and Tushar Zing. Thank you very, very much. Everybody, I'm back. We're getting weekly videos once again. So thank you for holding tight during that delay. If you enjoyed the video, I'd love it if you gave me a like and a subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you then.